Yes, hello and welcome back to Top of the Kops right here on the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous man. I hope we're well, hope we're all safe, I hope we're still smiling from ear to ear because yes, we are back on our perch. We have won it 19 times now and it is a beautiful, beautiful occasion. To celebrate this beautiful occasion, we've got two incredible guests. The first man, DJ Spoony, a man who I adore, I look up to him so much. Thank you so much for coming on.
Big up your chest. I'm going to put these headphones on because I feel out of sorts as a DJ without headphones on.
Of course. How you doing, sir? You must be... And also, happy belated 50th as well, by the way.
Thank you. By the way, how about that for a birthday present? Are you aware that we actually won the league on the day of my 50th birthday?
You just can't write stuff like that, man. You cannot write it. Joining Spoony with us, we've got Drifty. Man like Drifty from Kopish, a fellow Liverpool fan channel. How are you doing, my bro?
You know what, like Spoony, happy belated, bro. It's my birthday in 3 days' time, so it feels like a birthday present for me as well, man.
Big up, man.
You know what, lads? I've just come back from Liverpool itself. I got a copy of the Echo souvenir edition. A lad was selling this scarf behind me outside the stadium. I don't know if he had a permit to sell that, but I didn't ask because it's irrelevant. Because yeah, it's a beautiful piece of kit, and I'm very lucky to have it. So lads, today it is a Premier League winning special. I mean, it's been a long time since we are confident enough to say that we can win it. We have won it, so we can all relax. Now, Spoony, I'm going to start with you. This is a tough question, but how did we get to this point? Because 5 years ago, JJ, we're on our arse, to be honest with you, especially after the 14-15 season. You look at the stats, they're not pretty at all. How have we got to this point?
I think, I'm going to take some time out. This might be controversial in some people's eyes, but I'm really going to give a bit of credit to Brendan Rodgers, right? Because I think as a club, what he did, because we came so close, what happens in those instances is that the belief rating goes up. And it was a nice period of time for us as football fans to go, we are actually in a position where we can win the league now. And we were playing amazing football, like title-winning football we were playing. Obviously, we started the next season. It didn't start as well for Brendan. And then Jurgen came in. But I think Jurgen may have looked at what was going on at the time with the club, the stature of the club, what Brendan was doing, and thought, there is a project here. And even though we are now the finished article, it definitely would have been something that triggered Jurgen at the beginning to go, I want to get involved in Liverpool Football Club because of what was going on at the time.
Yeah, great answer. I'm another one, JJ, who likes to pick up Brendan for what he did. Like you said, when he joined Liverpool, you cannot deny his research into the club. He brought back the red nets. That was a Shankly favourite. He brought back the This Is Anfield sign above. And there definitely was a transitional period you could sense about to happen. For some reason, it just all went wrong in 2014. Suarez obviously left. Drifty, from 5 years ago to now, it's such a big change, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what? Going off what Spoony said, I kind of piggyback off that a bit, because I've never really deeped it, but I like Brendan. I'm one of a few people who like Brendan. For some reason, a lot of Liverpool fans have this animosity towards him that I do find a little bit strange. Yeah, he was a bit corny sometimes and cheesy sometimes, but I'll never forget what he did while he was there. It didn't end well, but for me, I didn't really see the cool. When someone's your dad, your brother, your whoever, you don't see things other people see. Like managers are like a second dad, innit? So maybe I was just blind to it. I don't know, but I actually do think that could be a point. Maybe bringing back the belief that we could actually be somebody again. Because for a long time before that, we felt that we would never really get back. Kenny did win us a cup, but he didn't really kick us on. Obviously, the Hodgson things are madness. Don't even want to talk about that. And obviously, what happened that made Benitez go and, nearly being in administration and all that kind of stuff. So Brendan was the first one who really gave us the good vibe back to make us feel like Liverpool again. So it probably did kind of set the tone, even though it's a totally different team. Maybe even us as fans, it gave us that belief again. So, but the 5 years it's been mad. And the progression has been daily, weekly, monthly. That's what I love about it.
Alex, I mean, just to add on to that we have to remember at the time that Jurgen Klopp could have gone to Manchester United. Arsenal really wanted him. If he could have made himself available, and to Chelsea even. That's not to mention the other clubs that were in the rest of Europe. But he wanted to come to us, and I genuinely believe it's because he saw, well, listen to those fans, look at that club, how that club is being run, their intentions, and what they're doing on the pitch. And we're all Liverpool fans, we didn't have the greatest squad. We had some unbelievable individuals, but we didn't have the best squad.
Yeah, I think the point you make there about Klopp having all these teams on offer is so true. An article actually came out recently, and it was about I think it was the March time of that year. Moyes goes, and Klopp comes in for an interview at Old Trafford with his wife. May I add, his wife apparently tells him this isn't right. They get interviewed at Liverpool in October. He says this is right, and that's a big trip. I mean, look, yeah, I'm going to choose to that as well. Spoony, if you've got it, and Klopp committed, but also, I mean, there's so many similarities. Like I said, I was at Anfield yesterday, and there's a big sign on one of the stalls outside, and it says about Shankly. You know, he sees the world. Everyone works hard, and everyone enjoys the rewards. And his kind of socialistic viewpoint, I think, Klopp just gets it as well. It's just there's so many similarities. I mean, Spoony, going to you. We're going to have a little discussion here about some of the biggest games or moments that have really turned this around for us in the last couple of years. I'm gonna chuck one in there straight away and say that 4-1 defeat to Tottenham at Wembley in October 2017. We've lost 5 league games since that, and I think that is genuinely the moment where Klopp looks around and goes, right, well, this can't happen again. He dragged Lovren off after 20 minutes. He's having a shocker, unfortunately. And, you know, I personally believe that's up there with one of the turning moments. What about yourself? We'll go with Spoony first.
I mean, that is a great game to look at. I think we saw, and I don't want to call Jurgen Klopp ruthless in a sense, in the way that we often speak of the word ruthless. But I think he realised at that point that there's no time for sentiment. And I'm not saying he's an emotional guy in that way, but his emotional state is how it should be. It's balanced. But I think he looked at that and thought, we've got to change stuff here. I think the defeats in the finals since then absolutely would have hurt him. But I was saying to him, you know, some of my Liverpool fan friends were like, he's not the man, he keeps losing in finals. And my point was, we have no right to be getting to these finals at this time. So the fact that we are getting to these finals is a win. You know, I was in Basel for that defeat, and you know, we seem to forget that they had already won the Europa League, I think twice at that stage. That was their third time on a spin. You know, they're a Champions League team that was then going to win the Europa League. So what were we doing? We were struggling to even finish in the top 4. So listen, I think that game, the defeats in the finals, and this season, one of the most important games for me was when we came back to get all 3 points against Aston Villa. And you know, it's very unjust, the goal that was disallowed for Bobby Firmino, but to get 2 goals that late on in the game, I thought now that belief, and I hate to say it, but when I looked at and I've watched Manchester United over the years win leagues on less points than we've already got, it's because they converted 0s to 1s and 1s to 3s in the fashion that we did against Aston Villa that game. And listen, I know we've played better football. I think we played better football last season, but this season we're winners.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's a big standout moment. I remember that game. Robertson scores 86 minutes, Mane 94 or something crazy. Drifty, what about you? Is there any more points you can pick out from maybe the last 2 or 3 years that are the moment that things change? Big up to everyone that's watching, by the way. Press the like button, share the stream. We've got 2 incredible guests on. So let's like and comment and share and all that good stuff. But Drifty, go on.
Yeah, do you know what? Funny enough, that what you were saying about his wife, I'd just like to point out Firmino actually turned them down and Mane actually turned Man United down as well. So it shows we've got people here who know the difference between the real team in England and the phonies. You know what I mean? But no, I think you know what it is about the Sevilla game. I don't know if you guys remember after the game, we were all deflated, we were all disappointed because that meant we weren't in Europe at all. After that, like that was our in for the Champions League, and then we lost that game. And then we didn't even finish top 4 that year. So we were actually out of Europe full stop. And I remember thinking we're not going to be able to like get any good signings now because, you know, players want to play in the glamorous competition and all that. And I remember that in the post-game interview, Klopp said, this moment here will be the moment that you feel now, but in a few years' time, you'll realize it was the catalyst for what happens at that point. And we would have got Mario Götze instead of Sadio Mane if we'd have won that Europa League. And what a disaster that would have turned out to be, because look at his career. Sadio Mane might be the best player we've ever had. Like, I adore that guy. I never thought I could like another man the way I like Mane. It's mad. So when you really think about it, that might be the point. That loss to Sevilla truly might have been the point, because from that moment we signed Mane, and then the rest is history. Like, literally, from that moment, I'll throw Ronaldo in there. That's my guy as well. Love Genie. We signed those two that summer, and then the rest is history. So I think it might be that Seville game that was the real turning point.
Yeah, 2016, that was a few years back. Sorry, did you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna. I have this saying in my life that greatness often gets achieved the other side of adversity. So anytime I'm faced with a challenge, I think about what happens once we've overcome that, and that just goes on for what Shifty said there. I think Jurgen Klopp said it, and I think the way that he plays, the way that he's got everyone thinking, absolutely epitomizes that. Yeah,
I would chuck into the hat the Kiev final. I think the day after that final, I'm driving home from Liverpool, and phone pops up, bam, signed Fabinho for 40 mil. I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, there's a silver cloud and all that, but I've never felt so dejected after a football match than seeing Karius do what he did. And I genuinely think that, twinned with, obviously, I mean, it's an obvious one, twinned with the 4-0 against Barca, just edges us to nearer greatness. And I think those two moments as well have to go in there. If you're watching, let us know what turning points in the last 4 years Liverpool have done to achieve such greatness. I mean, when did you guys really start believing in this? Because like you said, Spoony, that Villa game, December, was it? December, January?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's interesting because at the start of the season, I genuinely believed that I thought Man City would win it again, but I thought we would run on close. And a lot of people were saying, well, Liverpool, how can Liverpool do that again, perform like that for another season? But the challenge for me, then the challenge was, well, actually, you're then saying Man City can do it for 3 seasons. Surely it's going to be easier to do it for 2 seasons than 3 seasons. And listen, I'm not giving myself any credit, but I just genuinely believe that if we could perform like that and get 97 points, everyone that doubted even remotely what Jurgen Klopp was trying to achieve at the club would have gone, wow.
Yeah.
This point total has only been beaten twice, and it's by the team that did it last season and this team that's just done it now. So what he's doing is right. And look, you know, look where we are. Now we're looking like we're going to surpass their 198 points in 2 campaigns. We're on the verge of doing that.
Absolutely. What about you, Drifty?
Yeah, just quickly before I forget, I just remembered another turning point. Karius's mistake that got caught on camera in the friendly against Tranmere, because I think that was the point. I think that was the point when Klopp went, yeah, I can't give him another goal, can I? I can't. He's done.
Remind me. I remember
it went through his legs. Like he went to like catch it, and it rolled through his legs, and it was like even the ball boy started laughing at him, and it was like, you're just warming up, and you know what I mean? Now I think that was the moment Klopp thought, yeah, I've got to get rid of him. I've got to, because we might have gone into the season with Karius again. Do you know what I mean? In terms of your other question,
when did you believe in truly?
I
and it's important to point out the difference between kind of false hope, repeatedly getting let down.
Yeah. Like anyone who knows me and watches our channel, knows I'm pessimistic. Yeah, 30 years of hurt will batter you like that, innit? Do you know what I mean? My golden years of life were always disappointment. Yeah, so you start getting to a point where you're like, yeah, this ain't never gonna happen. I'm still waiting for someone to wake me up and go, oh yeah, Man City just won, they're a point ahead of you. At the beginning of the season, funny enough, I thought we'd win the Champions League again and City would win the Premier League. That was what I thought was going to happen again. I thought this season was going to mirror last season and it was going to be the same again, because we all know Europe's our thing. That's what we do. So I had a feeling that was going to be what happened again. And I think the moment I realized, yeah, this is it, because everyone kept telling me, everyone was like, bro, it's done, it's done. After Leicester, Callum was like, it's done, it's done. I was like, bro, everyone just keep calm, yeah? Just keep calm. We've got the lottery ticket, we've signed the back, but the people don't have it yet. So if we lose it, we still ain't, you know what I mean? We still ain't got the money. You know what I'm saying? You can take a picture, you can do what you want. Unless they receive it with your signature, we don't have the money. So when the COVID thing happened, I was like, I told you, lot, we've lost the ticket. We've lost the ticket. Now we need to raid the yard. We need to find the ticket, because I thought they were going to take it away from us.
No, man.
So I think it was actually when COVID got kind of like overturned and the Prem was going to come back. I know that sounds stupid because we're 25 points clear, but I think that was the moment I thought we will get it, because through that whole 3 months, I really thought they were going to cancel the league and they were going to take it off us. I genuinely thought no team in the world would have more bad luck than it to be us, that the year we are the best, they take it away from us. I just felt like it was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So before the lockdown, no, if I'm being honest, it probably was the Man U game. I think when we beat Man United, I think that was the moment. I thought Salah scored, broke his duck, got his hoodoo from that. And I think at that point, I thought, yeah, we are in it. We are. I'm going to keep this to myself, but I think we are going to be champions.
That was actually my birthday as well, that game. And I was running around like an absolute lunatic when that Salah goal went in. So we both had decent birthdays this year. All of us, to be fair.
Yeah. That's a touch.
Very, very true. So listen, we're going to talk about how we celebrated it. I mean, as you know, Drifty and Spoony, I go to the game, so I should have been there, but obviously I was at home watching it. I mean, talk to me about some of the text that came through kind of as the second goal for Chelsea goes in. Talk to me about some of the bitter mancs that have blocked you. I mean, my mate, Charlie, if he's watching, he won't be watching because he's a United fan. Instantly, without me even saying anything, he blocked me.
You know what's mad, yeah?
Talk to me about the celebration of the text coming in.
All my fans are Arsenal fans. The only Man United fan I've got is my brother, which I guess is probably the worst because he's an actual. I can't get rid of him, innit?
Why would you want to?
Yeah. At the moment, I'm like, I don't even get what you lot are talking about. Like, if there's any team that's got to keep quiet right now, surely it's Arsenal, right? Surely. If there's any team that's got to keep quiet right now, it's you. So for Arsenal fans to be telling me things like, oh yeah, congratulations, but not meaning it and being sarcastic about it and all that, I was just like, look, bro, you know what? The best thing for you to do is to give me real congratulations and I'll walk away from this moment and I won't even think about it again. But if you show me you're hurting, you're making me happy. Now you're giving me the joy I feel. Do you get what I'm saying? So all of these fans who are coming at us on Twitter, I'm sure you lot are getting the same thing. You're making me happier. What you should do is just go into hiding. That's what you should do. You're making me happier. There was a video I saw today talking about 15 to 20 points we've accumulated because of VAR decisions. I'm like, you do realize the only reason we've won the league is because every season when you could rob us has now been taken away. So when you want to talk about VAR, that's why we are winning now. We've been proved right. We told you all along. Howard Webb, all these referees used to cheat for Man United and cheat for Arsenal. Chelsea, don't get me started on the cheating that happened under Abramovich. So now You can't do any of that anymore. We won Champions League first year of VAR in the Champions League. Then we win the Premier League first year because you can't cheat us anymore. It is what it is now, isn't it? And as Spoony said, they still tried to rob us. Firmino's goal, Mane's goal, there's still goals you tried to take off us, but we couldn't be stopped. We're inevitable. This season, it was inevitable. So shout out to all the haters, man. You're making me feel better. Keep it coming, man.
Love that.
Spoony, what about you? What kind of instant kind of feedback were you getting on the night?
I mean, again, it was almost ironic that Chelsea went and beat City for us. And being a Londoner, it's one of these things that I always explain to people, that because I'm based in London and I've always lived in London, that my rivalries are more with Arsenal and Chelsea than with Manchester United, because there's more. I come into contact more with those people. I grew up in Highbury, so I have lots of my friends support Arsenal. So again, I've been sort of compiling a little bit of a list all season when people were coming with their rubbish about, you're not going to win it, and how funny would it be? Like Drifty say, you're not going to lose the league, and all of this rubbish. And I said, all right, I'll put your name down. All right, cool. I'll put your name down, because I wasn't as nervous as Drifty, because I was in a privileged position where I worked for the Premier League, and I knew that if the season was going to be cancelled, that I would have got an inkling, and I never got that. I'm like, it's just going to be a matter of time. Whether that time was June, July, or August, I always felt that this campaign would be played out. But like I said, on the night, I'm sat here in the same position, watching Chelsea against Man City. By the way, what a great game of football it was, but made more special by the fact that, one, we got the result we did, and it happened actually on my birthday. And I was kind of standing there, not knowing which I should be celebrating more. I just turned 50, or we won the league. And I did a post on Instagram, and I think I look happier that Liverpool won the league than it was my 50th birthday. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to have more birthdays. But we won the league. And for someone my age, for it to be 30 years since, I know what it was like to be sweet. So, yeah, it's been fantastic, singing, jumping around. Yeah, buzzing.
Do you know what? I went to Liverpool yesterday to shoot this mini film that we're going to put out on Thursday called It Means Everything. And it's very similar to, your Sky and BT kind of emotive montages. There's
wicked.
There's poetry in there. There's tears. It's going to be a good one. So, in talking about what it means, I mean, like you just said there, Spoony, 30 years. I'm 26. I've never seen it. Going up to Liverpool yesterday, I just got this feeling of looking around, and I was just like, this is what it feels like now. It's different. I mean, we're all in London now, but when you go up there, boys, trust me, the next time you go up there, you come out of Lime Street, or if you're driving, whatever, and you might get a Mr. Wong's, and it just feels great. It just feels absolutely incredible. Like, I have been smiling from ear to ear. So there's been a lot of celebrations. But in terms of the videos you guys have seen, I mean, on the night of your birthday, Spoony, I was probably up till 3 watching these compilations. What's your favourite one? Have you got a favourite so far?
Wow, man! I've seen 2 really, really good animated ones. Actually, there's the one where it goes on the journey with the dad taking the boy. I'm not sure who saw that. That was phenomenal. And as a parent who's taken his daughter to the stadium and took her when she was really young for her first game, when I watched that, it was quite emotional. And how we inherit our clubs. I mean, my daughter doesn't know much about football, but she loves Liverpool because her dad loves Liverpool. That's just it. She couldn't tell you 5 players. But it's not the point. And when she did come to Anfield for the first time, she said to me, she loves her music. And she said, Dad, this is like being at a festival.
Wow.
Just like being at a festival. And I got goosebumps that it went into her like that. So even though this question isn't about me and my daughter, with regards to that animation that we saw, I totally get it. And I was like, that was fantastic. That's been my best video, I think.
Yeah, I've got to say, man, there was a tear. Because I remember my dad took me to my first ever game was Liverpool against Arsenal at Highbury, and it was 1-1. John Onirisa scored on the day. But just being taken into the ground with your old man, you just can't beat it. I think that video sums it up, and I guess a lot of people were teary as well. Drifty, what about you? You must have seen all of them out so far, at least 10 times each.
Boy, yeah, we went live straight away, went on a mad like hour-and-a-half stream. Then I come off that stream, forgot I hadn't eaten, had something to eat. And then I think after that, I took in about 5 hours of content. I'm not even exaggerating. I think it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and it started to get daylight again. And I actually said, be a grown up and go to bed now, brother. You know what I mean? Like, but like, I couldn't. I was just, it was because we knew we were going to be champions. I didn't think it would feel as good, but it still did. It was strange. I saw Kop crying. I shedded a little tear with him still. One of them little manly ones, you know, the one that you can wipe away and no one even knows it's there. Like,
where you go like that, Drifty, with the ones where you just go like that.
Yeah. You know them ones there, like a little pretend, like, oh yeah. What was that? Like, but them little ones. I think my favorite video though has got to be Kop dancing, because that man embodies everything about being a Liverpool manager, being a good man, and being a leader. And then knowing when you can also let your hair down and enjoy the fruits of your labor as well, but everyone will still take you serious. It's a very, very difficult skill to be a leader of men, but know you can be nice, but you can also be ruthless, and nobody takes you for a mug when you're nice, and nobody gets upset at you for being angry. It is a very, very difficult skill. I've been a manager in retail, and that was difficult. God knows what it's like to do this with actual millionaire, you know what I mean, young men who can get ahead of themselves and all that kind of stuff. So for him to just know how to be what he needs to be when he needs to be it, and then watch him be like able to enjoy it just the same as everyone else, I think that video there for me was the perfect symbolization of everything, just everything.
Absolutely. Do you know what?
Alex, sorry, I know you didn't just answer the question, but it just reminded me something there when Drifty spoke about Kop and being ruthless and being a leader of men. And I can't remember the game, but when he took Jordan Henderson off and went to kind of shake Jordan Henderson's hand, and Jordan like went to walk past him, and he said, I don't know what he said to him, but in Hackney, we would have gone, yo, brother, listen, don't. It would have been something like that. And the conversation from then, I think it made him even stronger. That listen, you're our captain. You can't, if you're not happy with the decision, you still don't do that to me. We don't do that to each other. We don't do that to each other. And I thought, wow, look at that.
That's a great point. I forgot about that. And it's actually, at the time when I saw it, I remember feeling quite sad. I looked at it and was like, this could make or break Hendo, but obviously it made him in the end. Going back to your favourite video, Drifty, I've got it here. I mean, it actually looked like Kops not wearing trousers, but we'll play it here anyway. I mean, they're very short shorts if he has got shorts on. But
do you know what I love about that video, bro? I love the fact that Allison's like, right, the gaffer needs space, and he starts moving the table out of the way to give him more space.
A quick one here, Spoony. You're saying, one tweet says here that you look 21, mate. So that 50th is a long time away.
Good lighting, and I think these webcams are brilliant. I'm going to just buy them and put them everywhere in the house.
Yeah, get them.
You're being modest, bro. You're being modest.
Thank you.
Right, so looking back towards the season, I want to get from all of you what you think was the best goal. I mean, we've scored a lot of goals this season, but what I've done is I've put them into a 4. So we've got Fabinho's goal the other night, which for me, actually, the way it was positioned and hit the net was very similar to the way Gerard's Olympiacos goal kind of hit the net. It's the same trajectory, so it was a great goal. Fabinho again against Man City. 0 backlift for this shot, guys. If you watch back this replay, very little backlift. Salah's goal against City. I mean, the cross from Trent on his left foot all the way over to Robbo on his left foot, the cross, the header, unbelievable finish. Getting goosebumps speaking about it now. And the goal we mentioned already, Salah against United, just what it meant. Gonna start with you, Spoony. You got to pick one of these, bro.
I'm gonna go for Fabinho's against Manchester City, because I think that was a game that was on a knife edge. That game could have gone either way, and I think to come up with the magnitude of the goal, let alone the actual strike, past the goalkeeper of the quality of Ederson, I think I'm gonna give it that one. And you know, by the time Salah scores in that same game, albeit the move was incredible, we had the momentum that we had the power in the game at that stage. But when the first goal in games like this is always so important.
Yeah, and it was early as well. Really did set the pace for the rest of the game. Drifty, I mean, feel free, guys, to throw in some more goals that you remember, and also yourself, Drifty, if you remember any outside.
I was going to say all of those goals are beautiful, but I kind of need to be outside the box of the choices. And mine is Origi's second goal against Everton. That's my goal of the season. That goal was delicious, absolutely delicious. That is such an underrated control from over your head. Anyone who's kicked ball knows controlling the football as it's coming over your head is probably the hardest thing to do in football. And the way he took it down and then just lobbed it.
I don't know what you're on about.
Nah, for me, I think that was the best goal of the season for me. But all of those goals there are special. Fabinho's goal against City was crazy. Sorry?
The goal you said, sorry, Origi's second. I mean, if Henry does that, no one kind of. I mean, like you say, he brings it out, and it's a little dink. We've got to mention this one as well. Red Wolf has just mentioned Curtis Jones versus Everton. What a strike that was! He was away from goal. His body's behind him. His legs are underneath him. He drags it out.
Beautiful goal. Future captain, I reckon. There, Jones.
There you go. Second goal against Everton. Lovren assist. Very important to mention that.
I mean, like I said, when you talk about great goals and brilliant goals, they come in. I think you file them in two different places because you've got individual brilliance and then you've got importance and magnitude. One of the greatest goals that we've scored in the last 20, 30 years would have been Steven Gerrard's header, the first goal against AC Milan in the Champions League final, because albeit it wasn't a standard header, but that started something very, very special at the time when, we were more looking like we were going to lose 5-0 than lose 3-2. So the importance of it, but, listen, it's we're lucky that we've got so many amazing goals to choose from, if I'm honest. And I just saw it flash up there, Mane's goal against Aston Villa.
Beautiful header.
Robertson's winner against Aston Villa. These are big goals when you talk about momentum and pushing on and not having to deal with that disappointment.
Absolutely. Going on to player of the season, this hasn't actually been announced by the likes of the PFA and stuff like that yet. But for me, I put these four in. I mean, again, we can choose outside of them. But for me, I have to give it to Jordan Henderson, for me personally. Just because this man, what he has endured, without him even knowing probably most of the time, may I add, what this man has had to endure from 2011, I would say up until 2017. And I'm not going to lie, I was involved in that sometimes as well at the game. It was just pure hate. And he got so much of it. And I feel embarrassed and ashamed to think that he's proved us all so wrong when I'm not saying all of us are against Hendo, but let's not hide from the truth. He was almost at Fulham. So I mean, so I have to give it to Hendo purely for his performances on the pitch, his leadership, the way he's turned everyone's minds around to be on board with him. Absolute gargantuan of a leader, a captain. So that's my pick.
Wow, I'm gonna just get from Jordan Henderson. Do you remember when he got sent off against Manchester City and Brendan Rodgers said, "I knew this was going to be a problem for us." Anyone's a real Liverpool fan at that stage should have realised the importance of that player as an individual, because we must always remember, and we often forget, that the managers see these guys day in, day out, through all of the moods, through the wind, through the rain, through the sunshine. And if our manager, who's taken us that close to the title, says he is important and so important moving forward, irrespective at the time. Remember, we had Sturridge, we had Suarez, we had Sterling absolutely ripping it. And he said, losing Henderson is going to be a problem. Like, for me, I've always rated what Jordan Henderson brings to that team. Moving forward to player of the season now, for me, it's a toss-up between Mane and Virgil.
Okay.
And the reason I say that, because I think teams look, and it's a problem, when they look at our defence and they look at Virgil van Dijk, I genuinely think they go, how are we going to score? And when you put that into them before a ball's kicked, that's a problem. And that's how important he is. And I think we've had defences in the past where they've gone, well, even if Liverpool score, we look at that back four, we'll score 2 and we'll score 3. And if they score 3, we'll score 4. And when you look at why we didn't win the league when Brendan Rodgers was the manager, it wasn't because of what Sterling, Suarez and Sturridge did. It was what the defence didn't do. And I think that is a fundamental difference as to why, and the importance of Virgil van Dijk. That said, I could make a case for Trent. I could make a case for Andrew Robertson, because against Everton, how different we looked when Andrew Robertson wasn't in the team. So I don't know. I mean, there's one of maybe 8 players that if they won it, you could go,
Fair enough.
yeah, I could see that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like this should be the first time ever where maybe we're allowed to give more than one player of the season, because I feel like the whole Liverpool team should just be given player of the season. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's mad. Jordan Henderson getting sent off against Man City, I would still say to the day I die, was why we didn't win the league that year. Yeah. Him missing those 2 games after that. My heart wants Henderson to get it. My heart was like, I'm always the one defending him. I'm always the one having to like stop people attacking him. I just, you know what I mean? Alex, you said everything, you know what I mean, about how much he just embodies what being a Liverpool captain is all about, taking that weight of Gerrard, passing him the armband, just everything. But my head thinking sensibly without the emotion of it, I agree with Spoony. I think it is between Sadio and Virgil, and I probably would give it to Sadio because that's my guy, and he's been absolutely sensational this season. And for me, he's arguably been the best player or the best attacking player in world football, never mind the Premier League. Like, he's sensational. That goal he scored last season against Bayern Munich, don't even get me started. But
did I tell you I was in the stadium for that goal? Did I tell you that?
No,
that must have been a different feeling, man.
Go on, tell us the atmosphere.
I mean, listen, we go on, Drifty, you finish, because I feel like I just interrupted, but you tell it and then I'll come back and talk about that.
All right. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, with what Spoony was saying about Verge is so true. The reason why I will say this now, even after only 2.5, 3 years, that Virgil van Dijk's the best centre-back I've ever seen. And I've watched, I'm not going to give away my age because it seems to be a mystery I like playing with. But I've seen the Nestas, the Cannavaro. I'm talking world-class footballers. But I don't know what it is, but people still felt that they could have a go. Like if Cannavaro was in defence or Nesta was in defence, a striker would still look at him and be like, yeah, I'll have a go at this. Everybody who looks at Virgil passes the ball. They literally don't even try and take him on. I've never seen a defender so imposing. And we're talking about big men, you know. We're talking about Troy Deeney, big man. Like you wouldn't even say something stupid to Deeney on road because he'd slap you up. And
you
even
definitely
someone
wouldn't
like
say it on
him,
road.
do you get what I'm saying? And even someone like him's like, you can't do nothing to this guy here. Do you get what I mean? Like, so it's even people who are up for the fight, not even just good players, that are like, you can't do nothing to this guy. I think it might even have been Dean. He said he even smells good. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like, so it's really tough because to be that imposing and that good, Virgil's got to the point now where we take him for granted. Like he's actually so good that we now forget how good he is because we almost expect a 10 out of 10 every game and he gives it to us every game. So it is quite difficult, but I think Mane being my favourite, he wins it over favouritism. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he's been sensational. So, but I don't really care who you give it to. You could give it to Allison, and I'll be like, you got a point. Like, you can give it to anyone. You know what I mean? It's mad.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Spoony, let's go.
Sorry, yeah. So the trip to Bayern, I mean, it was one of those where the get into the stadium and where the away fans are, it was like a PT hit session because it's so high up, so many stairs.
Yeah.
And all of the security that was around, like, ended up having to run up the stairs not to miss the kickoff. Stadium's beautiful, don't get me wrong. It's lit up red at night. It looks absolutely fantastic. And it's a place where normally British teams go there and get absolutely bruck up. And if there are any Arsenal fans that see this, Arsenal fans know about getting bruck up at the Allianz, right? It's just, I mean, they lost like 10-2 2 years on the spin, right, on aggregate. So I'm thinking, it's not about spending all that money to go away in Europe and watch your team get distressed. But, you know, we're Liverpool. This is a new Liverpool. This is Liverpool AD. We're not playing no more. And that goal was scored. We're at the other end. So when you're that far away and that high up, the goals kind of happen in slow motion, but you could kind of see it happening, but it's a little bit surreal because it takes a while. The players run off and then the cheering starts because it's not as immediate when you're that far away. But when we actually got to see it online afterwards, what a goal. The pass was disgraceful. Do you know what I mean? And that's it's brilliant. I mean, I've done a lot of away travel over the last few years. You know, I've been to Porto twice. I was in Barcelona when we lost 3-0. I went to the Bayern Munich game. Yeah, I've been, you know, that has been my thing over the last few years, going away for those European nights. But that one was special because, like I said, I've seen many an Arsenal fan crying on a Wednesday and Thursday morning after going to Germany, boy.
Friday morning when they get slapped up by Schalke or someone after playing them on a Thursday night. So don't worry about that.
There you go.
When you mentioned there about it was slow motion, I think when a player chips it like that, like he did, he knows more than anyone else whether that's going in or not. So if he turns around to celebrate to the fans before the ball's in the goal, you just got to trust him, innit? Because he knows it's going in. But I was like yourself, like I enjoyed a lot of traveling this season and last season. But Atletico away was very much like a hit session as well. There's the stairs and the nets and all that stuff up there. But again, an incredible venue. I don't know if you've seen Atletico kind of do their "You'll Never Walk Alone" equivalent.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah,
where it's got the guy with the
yeah.
Oh, bro, it's unbelievable.
That is brilliant. It's fantastic atmosphere in that stadium as well. I mean, I literally touched down at the airport, put my bag into bag storage, got in a taxi, went to the stadium, into the seat, off the plane. It was like something out of Mission Impossible or The Bourne Identity. How tight my timing was. It was legendary.
I actually had a flight after the game. So the game finished local time around 11:30.
That's right.
And I had a flight at 5:30 from Baracas Airport back to... So, bro, I mean, I uploaded all the fan cams that I did outside the stadium. You know them airport chairs that you try and sleep on, but there's like handrails on them. So you try and put your legs under. People hoovering next to me, bro. It's the worst thing I've ever had. And as well. So I was a nightmare. The missus was having to go at me when I got back from Madrid that time. Talking about some of the videos, guys, as well, send in some questions as well, because just before the end of the show, we're going to do some questions for both Drifty and Spoony, so please get in touch. But before that, we're going to show a couple more videos that should bring back a few smiles just that have come out over the last few days. The producer's actually not put them in the system for me. But let's actually talk about this then quickly. This came out on TalkSport Drifty the other day. Danny Murphy, I mean, listen, I was a big fan of Murphy and still am to some extent, but I think he's actually since come out and apologised for this, Drifty. So we can read it. De Bruyne is the best midfielder. It's a load of nonsense. Probably, sorry, it's a load of nonsense talking about the guard of honour. De Bruyne is the best midfielder probably in the world, and he's clapping hands and giving a guard of honour to players who can't even lace his boots. I mean, I'm like you, Spoony. I was shaking my head when I saw it. It's so naive. It is disrespectful. I mean, I told my uncle about it when he drove me to Lime Street today. He went, "Danny Murphy said that, has he?" Was he out? That's disrespectful. That. So,
Yeah, you know,
that one though, I can't. Especially as an ex-Liverpool player, what's going on?
And fan, right? He's a Liverpool fan. They don't even make no. Like, what was he drunk? Was he drunk? Like he must have been. Like what? Was it a dare? I don't get it.
I just don't get it.
I mean, I don't like to be. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I know Danny. I like Danny. I respect Danny. He was a fantastic player. That statement is flawed. Basically, because it's a guard of honour for the best team. It's not for the best individual. Like, it's not about how good Kevin De Bruyne is and is he better than Gini Wijnaldum. It's about Liverpool were better than Manchester City this season, and because they are champions, you greet the champions in the way that champions should be greeted, and that's it. And you know, if you read the whole quote, he says players don't do it sincerely, and it's not something that they want to do. Yeah, but when you lose a football match, you shake your opponent's hands out of a sign of respect for being in battle, because there's some honesty and integrity about going up against someone, and it's all fair in love and war, as they say, and you shake hands at the end of it. And this is just another extension of that. So I've had to shake hands after a game with people that beat me. I mean, look at boxers. Boxers go in there literally to knock each other out, and then the person, after he gets knocked out, once he stands up and he knows what his name is again, he goes and hugs the person that knocked him out.
Exactly.
So this is what it's about. It's the honour of sport. It's not about individual egos. And if it means that when you have to applaud someone and it makes you angry inside from the pit of your stomach, then it means that next year you're going to play a little bit harder so you can avoid what that feeling is. And that's what Jurgen Klopp said after that defeat to Seville. Listen, remember what this feels like, and let's ensure that we don't do it again, even though we did, but I get the sentiment.
Absolutely, yeah. Drifty, I mean, what's your thoughts on it? Because like you, I just couldn't, I mean, like you, Spoony, big fan of Murphy, big respect to him. I think he's come on a lot as a pundit. He's a great guy.
I like him as a pundit. Like, I genuinely do.
For what reason, though? And again, Spoony, you're right, because you say, you know, it's the fairness of the game. It's a man's sport. It's a woman's sport. Everyone has respect for each other after the game. Yeah, there's a saying in the cricket world: if you do something that's disrespectful, it's just not cricket. And I think why would you take away that and focus on competing with an individual who might be better than others? But like Spoony said, it's a team sport, Drifty.
Yeah, I mean, like the point that Spoony made about the boxers was perfect, because I was going to say UFC, because that's my thing. Like, if you can kick the crap out of each other for 15 to 25 minutes in a UFC cage, nearly kill each other, and then hug afterwards and say, yeah, like, good fight, then in football, it should be way easier to be like, do you know what, good game. Do you know what I mean? So do you think there's a tiny little bit of maybe, I wish...
Don't say it.
I wish it would have been while I was there.
I know he said it.
I don't know. You know, like, maybe, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Because it's just strange. He's a former player. He's a fan. But yet he's bigging up De Bruyne to the point where it disrespected us. It doesn't even make any... I don't get it. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling like. Was he misquoted? Was it a dare? Or something? Like, it doesn't even make no sense, man. It's weird. I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Kevin De Bruyne, I think, is the best midfielder in the world, right? So from that point of his statement, I 100% agree with him. But I don't agree with the sentiment that, what about Kevin De Bruyne? Because, all right, what would we say then? Well, Kevin De Bruyne is the only one that doesn't have to clap. But Kyle Walker has to clap because Trent has had a better season than him. And Edison has to clap because Alisson's had a better season than him. And I don't know which Man City centre-half you're going to bring out, but they definitely all have to clap Virgil and Joe Gomez and Joel Matip. Do you know what I mean? It ends up being so flawed if you look at it from that perspective and that aspect. But listen, when you talk a lot, as pundits talk a lot, every now and again, something's going to come out that shouldn't. And on that note, I'm going to shut up.
Yeah. Do you know how we solve this problem though? Because we're talking about another Liverpool fan anyway, right? So we give City the ban and we buy De Bruyne. It's case solved. It is what it is, isn't it?
Wow. Forget about it.
It wasn't a misquote. I'd have to agree. Some other good news though that's come in is it's official that the African Cup of Nations is now in 2022. So, I mean, we were all upset and cut up about, not getting Werner to cover the likes of Mane and Salah during January. I mean, that makes me feel even better now that we didn't get Werner because, God forbid, we don't get any injuries to the lads. But, I mean, that's a great move for Liverpool.
You know what? It's good and bad, though, bro, because it's good because of the reasons that you just said. We can defend our title properly. We don't have to lose our two best attacking players. And we can just keep things ticking over nicely. So it's beautiful from that point of view. But I'll be honest, we had a big argument about this yesterday on our channel because I want my club to start being ambitious. And I get that business is business and you have to run it properly. And credit to FSG. In terms of business model, probably top 3 in the world of how well we are ran as a club. So I get it. But every now and again, you've got to treat yourself, right? You know, they when we say stop being tight to yourself. You know what I mean? Like you've worked hard all year. If you want them trainers, buy them. Stop being tight to yourself. Every now and again, you've got to do that. Just don't be tight to yourself. So I want Koulibaly, right? I don't care if it's going to cost 60, 70 million or we got to throw Lovren in there as a package. You put Koulibaly next to Van Dijk and then you still have Gomez and Matip as well. We can see like 5 goals next season and we win everything that's possible. So I want Koulibaly. Everyone's like, no, we need the replacements because of the African Cup of Nations. And I'm like, I'm understanding the logic of the argument. Now there's no African Cup of Nations. FSG kind of have a way out of why they won't spend money now. Do you get what I mean? Now they can be like, well, we don't have this gap for a month where we lose 2 or 3 really important players because Naby is important as well. Now we can just go again. And they've almost got a get out clause. And I don't like that because as well as they run the football club, every now and again, like I said, treat us. Dip your hand in your pocket. They've never actually spent any of their own money. Every now and again, just do it. Just do it. Forget the whole COVID thing. Apparently, fans will be in the stadium for next season, from what I've heard now. It's not as bad as first thought. And at least half, if not more than half of next season, we will be allowed back in to watch. So all the projected losses aren't going to be as bad as they thought and stuff like that. Spend a bit of money. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got to stay on top while we're here. Look at what City did. They rested on their laurels and they fell down. We can't do that now. So it's a good and a bad thing, man.
Kieran's just said we need left-back cover. I think left-back cover is an absolute priority. I would like Koulibaly. Going on to, do we need to spend? I mean, I have trust 100% in Michael Edwards and Jurgen Klopp. I think that one of the major elements of a manager and the committee that make the transfers, as we know, is recruitment. How many of your signings do you get right? What is your policy? Some clubs adopt a scattergun approach. Our approach looks to be really targeted. I look at us like the sniper. If I was given an analogy for transfers, we move like a sniper. 1 or 2 bullets, people down. We don't need to go in and throw bombs. We're not throwing bombs. So when I hear that we're in for a player or we're not in for a player, I just go, there is a plan, there is a strategy. Now, how do we know that when we first thought about, right, can we go and get him? Shall we get him? Yeah, we're gonna get him. But Leroy Sané might become available.
Oh, that would be
nice. Maybe they turn around and said, if we can wait a little bit and get Sané, let's do that instead. But they can't come out and tell us that.
No.
And everyone wants loads of transfers and we like getting excited. But they're not thinking like that. Now, I'm not saying that I've heard that we are going to get Sané, but just imagine if that was their thinking, that we could sign Leroy Sané, his 24-year-old or however old he is, on a free transfer, give him quite a bit of money. is a German international. He's going to know all about Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool know he doesn't have to adjust to the Premier League. He knows that he doesn't have to move home and adjust to a new campaign. There's so many reasons why, if that attacking player was Leroy Sané, I say to you, who would you rather, Timo Werner or Leroy Sané?
Sané all day. That is a beautiful player, Sané. So underrated. So underrated.
Big fan of him.
And we don't know. And that's my point, that, you know, at clubs, we don't know what's going on. I mean, it would be amazing if I think Koulibaly is unbelievable. And like I said, if we have Koulibaly and Van Dijk, they're going to look and go, we can't score past them. But then we need to remember that Joe Gomez has been an absolute colossus for us, right? Even though he has made a couple of mistakes, I'm going to say this now, and I don't know what the other Liverpool fans are going to say. Alex, Drifty, I don't know what you're going to say to this, but I genuinely believe that last year, if Joe Gomez doesn't get injured, we also win the league, because that's how good him and Virgil were playing at that time.
No, I agree. I agree.
Their partnership together last season, I think they played 22 games or 24 games together across the season. Was better. That partnership was better than Terry and Carvalho in 04-05. So, do you know what? I never even thought of it like that, because I just didn't pin it down to losing a Gomez, which cost us. But bro, you're 100% right. If Joe Gomez plays in that game against City that we lose 2-1, Aguero doesn't fucking score at the near post.
Yeah.
He doesn't score. And again, a point in that game is enough for us to win the league. And again, when you're setting up a team and you're looking at combinations, so you're looking at combinations between your right back and your right midfielder, your combinations between your two centre halves, how your centre forward connects with the left midfield, the left winger or the right winger. You're trying to create a situation where it's the sum is greater than its parts. It's not just two players. Can two players be like three players? And the magic that we had with Van Dijk and Joe Gomez, I felt we had the perfect mix of pace, of being able to play high up the pitch, because Gomez is quick. So that meant that we can play 10 yards further forward, which means that the midfielders can push 10 yards further forward, which means then that the forwards can really press higher up the field. And once he came out the pitch, through injury, we knew that with Lovren or Matip playing alongside Virgil van Dijk, we couldn't press that high up. And it's no surprise that we started drawing more games. We went through that period, 7 draws we had in that season. And just look and see how many of those draws came post Joe Gomez's injury. And I'm not saying, and nowhere was that a coincidence. Oh, it was a coincidence. Nowhere was it a way that we should look at it and not say it was because of his injury.
No, you're 100% right, bro. I sing Joe Gomez's praises every day. He's outstanding. He's the second best centre back in the league. I don't want to hear Laporte. It's Virgil. Then
Laporte is bad.
He is good, but that's how highly I rate Gomez. He's like Rio Ferdinand reincarnated for me. That's what Joe Gomez is. That's how highly I rate him. The only thing I'll say that he doesn't have, and maybe it's because he's young, is that leadership quality, which is the only case that I bring for why I think we should sign Koulibaly, because Koulibaly would mean Van Dijk could be rested and there's still a leadership that Gomez can have with him. I think if you have a Gomez and Matip combination, it's not about ability that becomes a slight issue. It's just leadership between the two. Both look at each other for the leadership instead of having that person leading them. And that's the only argument I bring for Koulibaly. It's nothing to do with Gomez's ability. It's just having another commanding centre-back who leads. So with Virgil's not there, we're like, well, Koulibaly's there though. So we're still cool. Do you get what I mean? So that's my argument for the Koulibaly stuff.
I think you make a very valid point, but I would also counter that and say, I call Joe Mini Verge. Like, even when I'm playing on FIFA or I say Joe is just Mini Verge. Like, I say mini, he's probably maybe an inch and a half. In every sense of, those guys, the bromance that is going on between Verge and Joe, they love each other as players, as mates. And I just don't think if you bring Koulibaly in, that Van Dijk has that same connection with Koulibaly, and it is all about connections. And you have to hold on to the good ones. We saw it with Gerrard and Torres, how well they worked. Gerrard and Owen have been with each other since they were 11, 12, and look how great they were. We have got such a special pairing there, and I would do anything to keep them with each other and not bring anyone else in. But that's just my point. Listen, we're wrapping up to the end now. I just wanted to show you some last videos, guys, that we've all seen. Again, it's just to make you smile. Love it, love it, love it. Inject it. Let's see this one as well. This is from Trent's Instagram. Do you know what's funny at this party, right? Harvey Elliott wasn't allowed a drink.
It's illegal for him, I guess, isn't it?
Imagine winning a Premier League medal before you can have a drink. I think if he gets 3 more appearances, he's there. But guys, listen, I wanted to just thank you both for coming on. It's been, I mean, we're all so happy with Liverpool right now. Long may it continue.
My pleasure, bro.
It's a beautiful time, and thank you so much for coming on. And listen, a quick word on the future. I mean, next season, this one's wrapped up now, lads, but next season, what can we expect? In a very short sentence from you both.
I want us to kick on and break some more records this season, have an amazing rest, and then go and do it again. And there's no reason why we can't do it again.
Totally agreed. Well summed up. Drifty?
Yeah, I agree with Spoony, man. We just rest up nice. Let Man City play in the Champions League, that little fake tournament now that is the real tournament that should have an asterisk on it. They tried to put an asterisk on our tournament. What, this little fake mini Champions League thing that they've got going now. Yeah, all right, mate. While they're playing in that, we need to rest up, come back fresh. And I do. The pessimist in me always gets scared. So I apologize, everyone. It's just the nature of my football being. But 2 trophies. Even if we go on an FA Cup run or something like that, I'd like 2 trophies next season. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully we can keep it moving, man. And if we sign Koulibaly, we win everything. I just want to say it. But
I think Drifty's got an official petition going on here for Liverpool to be in there for Koulibaly.
I'll do whatever it takes, man, as long as it's not against the law.
Oh, listen, lads, thank you so much. I could stay here and talk about Liverpool with you both all night long, but we do have to. But listen, much love to you both, my brothers.
It's been a pleasure, bro.
Big up, Al. Thanks for the call, buddy.
No worries.